Imagine walking through a city that has stood for centuries. Cathedrals dominating the skyline. Church bells ringing across the town square. Fast forward a few decades. The skyline has changed. Mosques standing tall. Streets are renamed. And the cultural rhythm feels entirely different. This isn't a war story. It's never a fiction. But this is what history shows us happening when society shifts slowly, quietly, and sometimes without resistance. I am Adediji Nexus, and this is the Adediji Nexus Podcast. So today, we explore a question that many are too afraid to ask out loud. Is the West losing its Christianity root? And if so, is it by silence, politics, or by design? Stay with me. In this episode, I am going to walk you through some historical background to let us know what is going on. History, how once Christian region became Islamic majority. The second of it is going to be the present, which is going to be about data. What data says about Muslim growth in the UK and the US. If we look at the politics, how migration, naturalization, and voting strategy shape the landscape. If we look at the strategy, how community legally expand influence. Looking at the dilemma also, should Christians stay silent? And finally, what to do if we want to preserve democracy and the heritage without promoting hate. Let's begin with history, because history is the best teacher of cultural shifts. My first stop is going to be North Africa. In the first few centuries after Christ, North Africa was the beating heart of Christianity. Great theologians like Augustine of Hippo and Athanasius shaped the faith from this soil, but after the 7th century, the Arab quest swept through, and Christianity didn't just vanish overnight. It eroded through governance, through taxation, through conversion, and over centuries, the cradle of Christianity became Muslim majority. My second stop is going to be Byzantium, the modern-day Turkey. For 1,000 years, Constantinople stood as the jewel of Eastern Christianity. The Hagia Sophia was the cathedral of Christendom. But in 1453, the Ottomans captured the city. Constantinople became Istanbul. The Hagia Sophia became mosque. And empire shifted from Christian rule to Islamic dominance. My third stop is going to be in Spain. The Visigoths ruled a Christian land, but the Moors, Muslim ruler, took control in the 8th century. For nearly 700 years, Spain was marked by Islamic rule, with its own art, the architecture, and law. Only through the Reconquista did Spain return to Christian governance, and that is 1492. What lessons should we learn here? You see, history teaches that societies don't stay the same. Religion dominance can and has always shifted, not always by force, but sometimes by demographic, sometimes by politics, or maybe political deal. But one thing is certain about this is that it is always by the silence or weakness of the other side. Let's look into our modern demographics. You see, if we have to bring this to today, in the UK, the 2021 census tells us Muslims make up to 6.5% of the population in England and Wales. That's about 3.9 million people. Back in 2011, it was 4.9%. That's nearly a 2% increase in just 10 years. And here is the detail. The growth isn't evenly spread. It is concentrated in major cities like London and Birmingham, also Manchester. Globally, Pew Research shows Muslims are the fastest growing majority, and I mean majority religion groups. Why? Because of higher birth rate, and they have younger populations. You see, in many countries, Muslim community are younger and having more children than the general population. Taking it to the US, Muslims are a much smaller, if we have to look at the population, maybe around 1% of adults, but growth is happening here too, driven by immigration and family size. And then there is these political factors, naturalized citizen. Pew Research estimates that 1 in 10 eligible US voters today is a naturalized citizen. That's nearly 24 million people in 2022. That means immigrant communities, including Muslims, can over time turn population growth into political influence. The third part of this that I want us to look into is going to be political and incentives. How does influence grow? First, let's go through naturalization. Once an immigrant becomes a citizen, they gain the votes and the politicians know this. Some shape policy to encourage naturalization or to appeal to an immigrant community. The second of it is going to be through local politics. If you remember this, that national elections are one thing, but local politics shape culture. A small organized community in a city can elect school board, can elect school board member, they can elect councillors and mayor. This is how street name change. This is how zoning law allow new mosque. This is how local school curriculum get adjusted. Population. The third of it can be through legal framework. You see, Muslim communities like other groups, they use this anti-discrimination law, religious freedom, to protect themselves by lobbying for, whatever they need to change in school. They fight for recognition or religious holiday. They push against Islamophobia. Yes, this is all legal. And it is how minority rights are being expanded. The fourth of this is going to be through migration and party politics. Take the UK. Immigration has been a flashpoint in every recent election. Some politicians are accused of quietly favoring migrants, even irregular migrants, because they believe over time new citizens may vote for them. But here is the catch. This strategy often backfire when migrants grow faster, faster than integration. Public backlash also grow, and backlash fuels populist or nationalist parties. We've seen it across Europe and in the UK. Part 4 for me on this is going to be misconception. We have to clear the air about this misconception. There is a dangerous conspiracy idea that Muslims are coordinating a grand takeover of the West. I don't see that to be supported by any evidence. But for what we can see and what we hear, one cannot say that that is far from the truth. Different video surveys online that back this claim of Islamizing the West. What is happening is simpler, but not less powerful. You see, there's one thing we must understand about when it comes to Islam. We've seen different video that is talking about how the West are going to be conquered. And these are the things I believe I saw in that video that they use. Is like they're going to be coming through massive migration to the West. Number 2 is that they're going to be having more babies. They're going to make sure that they increase in population, meaning that they're going to be reproducing. They're going to be having more kids. Just like we have in the Western world today, the economy is so hard that even the younger ones are not even thinking of having babies. And in this case, like it or not, you're going to become minority in your own country. So through immigration, they're going to dominate, through reproducing. And when it comes to politics, we all know that it is a game of number. When people of the same faith and community gather together, and nominate someone of their faith that will do their bidding. If they have the number, they will win the election. Because how many of you Westerns are ready to reproduce? You don't want to have babies anymore. And when it comes to Muslim, they are having baby like never before. They are reproducing, they are adding more to their number. They will get into politics. They will nominate those who believe in their beliefs and will do their bidding. And that is how they are able to rename a street a Muslim name. That is how they're going to be able to build more mosques. That is how they're going to be able to dominate. And when this continue, you will have no choice but to accept Sharia law because they already have the number. It's never too late to do the right thing by standing for what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Since you guys don't want to have babies anymore, they will continue having babies, they will continue adding to their numbers, you will become minority in your country, they will dominate you, and like it or not, they will be in your politics, they will be the one to make decisions, and there's nothing you can do about it. When a community rebel against their values and silently dump their core beliefs in the name of my right, my choice, my body, something has to fill in the vacuum. And in this case, Islam did. The dilemma now for Christian and for Western society is this. If you retreat, if you stay silent, if you refuse to participate in civic life, you shouldn't be surprised when other groups fill that space. This isn't about hating Muslims. It is about understanding the consequences of cultural passivity. If you move to the West, respect their background and don't think of overruling their core beliefs. History doesn't reward silence. People must speak against any form of belief or religion or group of people not loyal to their host country, but to just passive to be the enemy. More or less like you can't be in America and be waving Palestinian flags and saying death to America while you are living and enjoying every benefit. You cannot be in the UK waving Islamic flags and saying death to London, death to UK. It doesn't work like that. So, what can be done ethically, lawfully, and responsibly? Number one, vote. Too many Christians stay home on election day, and that is handing power away. Number two, run for local offices, school board, city council, planning committees. These positions shape the culture where you live. Number three, support integration policy. Push for immigrants who want to be in politics to respect Western values, embrace democratic values, and participate in civic life responsibility. Push for laws that protect your heritage, and only those without record of supporting terrorists can be part of electoral process. This is not hate or discrimination. It is interest protection, and I call it safe zone. Number four, invest in your culture. Support your local churches. Fund your school. Pass your heritage to the next generation. But remember, to pass on means there are young ones after you. And the question is, how many of you still thinking of having babies in this generation? It is a game of number. Number five, debate respectfully. Don't demonize your neighbors. Speak in fact. Let your disagreement be on policy and not on people. That is how democracy works. If Christians want influence, they must enter public life boldly, intelligently, and without hate. Also, a country must also make it clear where they stand when it involves religion. Now the question is America a Christian country with Christian values? Or is it just the winner take all? History shows civilization shifts when people stay silent. The West will change, it always has. The real question is, will Christians and those who value Western civic traditions stand up and shape the change, or step back and watch? Silence is not a strategy, but participation is. This has been the Adediji Nexus Podcast. If this episode challenged you, share it, subscribe, and let's continue the conversation respectfully, factually, and courageously. Until next time, stay engaged, stay awake, and never stay silent.